It's very helpful to know the difference between liberal and conservative. Very lately, because Republicans have worked so hard to demonize the biblical word liberal, uh, then we have switched over to the word progressive. But being a person who really enjoys vocabulary, liberal is far more descriptive of what people of character are attempting in our country to build rather than to destroy. The word liberal is used all throughout the Bible, always with positive meaning. Isaiah 32:8 is a delightful verse. The liberal man will make liberal plans, and by those liberal plans, he will stand. Uh, which some evangelicals will say, oh, no, liberal doesn't mean liberal. Liberal means something else. The definition of a liberal individual is someone who thinks through plans that will interfere for scalable good in the affairs of men or the affairs of people. Liberal individuals think through plans that will interfere for scalable good in the affairs of men. Scalable is important because very often a person who is very anxious to do the kind of good whereby he will be petted, whereby he will be recognized, whereby he can have gratitude expressed for his condescension to the lowly. Uh, it's much better in that case to do good for one person. That makes no difference in the affairs of many. Everybody knows what you've done then. We've all heard, you may have heard the story of Betsy DeVos, who worked so hard to take some student out of the public school and put that student into a private school and give the mother of that child a job cleaning some of her ships or boats and giving that family a car. And it did good for that one family. And Betsy DeVos got recognition and gratitude, obviously, from that family. But it did no good for the hundreds and hundreds of other students who were at that school. And that's who we got for our Secretary of Education. Scalable is the word then. We're looking to do good for the largest number of people. Also, when you do good in that way for a large number of people, you don't get any recognition. You get slapped around by conservatives because conservatives in general, Republicans specifically, Republican leadership specifically, again, we'll leave out the constituency, um, will consistently believe the worst about people who are in poverty in any scalable effort to do good for them. A classic example was the effort to make bankruptcy laws more available to individuals who had lost everything due to cancer, due to a child's terrible illness, uh, due to unemployment. There's a thousand different reasons. Due to car accidents. It's very difficult to continue one's work when their life is spared in a terrible car accident because of the airbag. But very often there's no airbag for the legs and shins and feet. And if your legs are crushed from just below the knee down to tibia, fibula, and the metatarsals, it's very difficult to continue earning wages as you once were. But Republicans always, throughout that process of trying to offer bankruptcy more to individuals who need it, would always characterize individuals who are seeking bankruptcy as those nasty people who are trying to shaft those delightful credit card companies. Don't we feel sorry for them? Boo hoo. Yeah. So the assumption is, are you kidding? Food stamps? Don't you know those nasty poor people are trying to steal your tax money? The assumption is always to assume the worst about people, and that way we will avoid policy that does scalable good. Also, if you do good for a large number of people, it preserves those people's dignity. That's the last thing we want. Goodness gracious. People being preserved in their dignity? That's terrible. That's terrible. But if you help one person at a time, then that person has to be, oh, thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you so much. And that way, we can destroy their dignity. But if you have a bureaucracy that distributes benefits at a once removed or twice removed from the donor mode of operation, then the person receiving that gets to maintain their dignity. So that is the difference. That is some of the large differences between liberals and conservatives. Liberals are attempting to institute plans to do scalable good in the affairs, to interfere for scalable good in the affairs of men. Conservatives, conservatives are looking to conserve. It's in the word. If you are a conservator at a museum, your job is to conserve the items as they are. Don't let them be altered or changed. And that's perfect. That's what you're supposed to do as a conservator of a museum. So a conservative, once he has his money, has his land, has his property, if there are social systems and governmental systems that support his accumulations, then his job is to conserve those. Conservatives are all throughout the Bible as well, and they are treated with great contempt all throughout the Bible. Alas for you, lawyers and Pharisees, hypocrites. These are the prototypical conservatives in the Bible. They had their scams going to steal the houses and money from the powerless that were around them. Jesus called them out with no uncertain terms. Sons of dogs. He called them, oh goodness, searching the globe for fools so you can forsake them, making them twice the sons of hell that you are yourself. Yeah, he didn't cut them much slack. His desire was to purify sons of Levi so that they could offer pure sacrifices. And that, of course, means if you're going to purify something, if you're a metallurgist, you very often will have to heat it in order to take out the dross. And he was heating up those conservatives in the Bible times. And from a human perspective, that's why they killed him. He was making it difficult for them to maintain their power and their money. And that's what conservatives will always do. If they see a situation where people are being helped on a scalable manner, they will oppose it. But if they see a chance to conserve their own privileges, they will, of course, conserve those. And that's how they get the name conservative.